What have I got here? Check out this cool bag. You know, I'd forgotten. When I used to go to the comic book shop, my comics used to come in paper bags like this, and I'd completely forgotten about that until I received this package. And I like this cool little stamp here. And I was like thinking, man, you know, presentation really matters. That when you receive a book and how you receive it, it really does have an effect on how you feel going forward. So if anyone's out there, paper bag, cheap way to do it, and such a good feeling. This is Horace H. Hoover. I want to thank Fabrizio Aiello for sending me this. He sent me a whole bunch of cool little stickers and trading cards and bookmarks and all sorts of stuff to go with it, which I also love to give. I'm saying it just makes you in a good mood when you're about to start reading. Horace H. Hoover. I've been looking at this book for a long time. I love the art. You know, it's always the way. You look at the art and you think, that's how you get bums on seats, they say. He is the artist writer. I think he does everything in this book. Fabrizio does. I didn't see any other names in here, so I'm just going to guess that is how it is. I'm pretty sure Gloomywood Comics is his imprint. Yeah, like I said, I've had my eye on this book for a while. It's been around. I think it used to be published through Alterna. He's now out on his own. He has a new crowdfund currently, by the way. If you like the look of this is the first 3 issues in one trade, but he is currently crowdfunding the 4th one. I'll put the link in the description for that. Straight away, it's an odd-looking fellow with a vacuum on his head. And let's just dive in with that. It's described as an occult pulp tale of mystery and adventure. You know, I was thinking about what it means to be pulp as I was reading this one. And my thinking is, obviously there is a sort of a nostalgic style to pulp now, but that isn't really the essence of what is pulp. And to me, pulp is a story that you're supposed to just pick up on the go. You know, maybe you're at a train station and you pick up some pulp thing off the newsstand, and so you can read straight away. You're in, you're out on the train or whatever, or in your lunch break. I think that is the essence of pulp. I remember they used to read, soldiers in war would read pulp stories and stuff like that. You need to be able to get in and just read and not have huge backstories and everything. And you need to have read the last one 100%. And I think Fabrizio really encapsulated that essence in this story beyond the visuals and the sorts of story it is. So I really think he really did make that, because in this story, it's written. It's like you know him already. Like you already read 100 issues of him. It is not written how a lot of stories are written these days, where it's an actual there's a beginning with an origin story and everything. No, you're just dropped right in. Here he is. Here's Horace H. Hoover. He's in his office. He has a vacuum on his head. Why? At some point, he does say, what does he say? He says when he meets this girl here, he says it allows him to travel places that others can't go and see things that others can't see. Beyond that, we find out that if people punch it, it doesn't crack. Other than that, that's it. That's all we know about him. Actually, at a later time in the story, I think in the second book, we meet his sidekicks. That's Max and that's Slurp. Max is a bookie, and Slurp is this. And that's it. You don't even get their names. It's very it doesn't say, oh, this is Max and this is Slurp. No, their names are just dropped in conversation as if you already know them. And that's what I'm saying about the pulp essence of it. Who is Horace? He's an occult supernatural detective. So people hire him whenever they need. So in this book, for instance, finding an object in a secret place, an idol of a sort. He's going and researching in occult libraries and stuff like that. This first story, he's actually, about to read a book, and he hears a scream. He runs upstairs, and that's how he sort of kicks off the initial mystery. There is an overarching mystery to the book. There is this thing with this guy here, the Smoke Man. And that's sort of the undercurrent that does connect all the stories together. But like I said, you just sort of jump from one story to the next. So it is episodic in that sense. Think Twilight Zone, where each story is its own thing, but there is an interconnected overall arching motivation with the character. Horace is a delightful character. I really thoroughly enjoy reading him. He is insanely verbose. He has a thesaurus-like vocabulary. And it is, can I just say, coming from the indies, which, it's always a mixed bag. You never know, how professional the writer is going to be. A lot of the times when you read a story, the characters sort of, I get the feeling like they just talk how the writer talks. No one talks like Horace H. Hoover. He is his own animal, and I love it. It's even on, in like, nothing about this looks mundane, but sometimes there are moments where he's just, they're having a conversation, but because of the way Horace talks, it is highly entertaining. As you can see here, it's very strange things happening. They get delivered to this essentially old hobo under the hobo bridge, but I guess because these fellas have their sort of, he has his helmet, he, like I said, he can travel to places others can't, he can see things others can't. They actually entered the Valley of Fear, which is a really interesting place. You've got these houses where these giant worm god tentacles reach down out of the sky and envelop each house, and they quickly find out that if things go on in the house that the worms don't like, they'll crush you in the house. It's super odd and super random, but so enjoyable. And as well, obviously, I haven't spoken on it yet, but I find the art, like I said at the start, to be just fantastic. Fabrizio has nailed this, what would you call it? Bronze Age style? Flat colors, minimal cell shading, really excellent palette choice, really leaning into that. Also, he's got things like ads. I didn't see if it was the back here. No, it's at the back of the first issue. Where is it? He's got a bullpen, letters from the pneumatic, and he's written these. They're quite hilarious. I haven't mentioned yet, it is a comedy of sorts. It's I wouldn't say it first and foremost. It's a comedy. It is a occult adventure detective kind of story, but it's funny. Like, for instance, here he just defeats this bad guy. He uses the worms against him, and he says, well, even if that ruffian awakens with an ire towards us, he is completely unaware of our identities. Unbeknownst to him, he's left Dear Horace H. Hoover, located at the... Like, there is comedy interwoven into it, which, really adds to the whole reading experience. Again, I don't really want to go too much into the story because the story itself isn't as important, other than for me to say I found it very enjoyable. I liked the genre. I liked where he was going with it. It's not the kind of you're on the edge of your seat, well, what's going to happen next kind of thing. Like I said, it really does lean into the pulp thing. It is kind of more of a how can I put this? I don't want to make it sound like there's no drama or tension in it. There is, but it is sort of like a stroll through this unusual world. It could be a reflection of just how unflappable Horace is in the face of anything. This was a beautiful page. I love this too. This sort of thing is just so much fun. Check out this part of the story. So he's at this old, crappy public library arguing with this woman here, saying he needs to get, what is he? I request the olfactory, I don't know how to pronounce that, occult section. And this woman is like, there's no section like that. And it's like, oh, don't worry. Here. So this lady says, oh, I give him this key. All it does is go to, the storage room with old dusty boxes. And, we just humor him because he's so nice and he's so pleasant. And that's so rare these days, not realizing that it is actually what it sounds like. This crazy library of, forgotten and forbidden books where he goes and does his research. He ends up actually trapped underneath that library by this fella here, and they goes on a bit of an adventure down into some caverns. Like I said, it is super weird. He meets this giant creature here with a beard that goes all the way up to his nose. It's off the wall. It's nuts. It's super strange, but it, like I said, it really is a delight to read. And I think that is a mix of the really, really well put together dialogue and just this highly enjoyable art. It's printed on this it's like uncoated paper. I think it was originally printed on newsprint. I would have loved to see this printed on newsprint. I think it would have been absolutely glorious. More of those things. Again, it's not a finish on this. Look at this beautiful art. And such a striking character, the way it looks and everything. I know Fabrizio has made a little figure of it. I think they might actually still be available on the Kickstarter. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a thorough recommend for me. I'm going to go back issue 4. And I really look forward to reading it. And you can actually grab this trade on the Kickstarter. So there you go. Horace H. Hoover. Enjoy. Bye.